Alright, it's time to open a window in your brain. Today's educational video is about blueprints and drawings in Canada. Blueprints are like a regulation. These regulations are actually used among engineers who produce drawings because the engineer will distribute the drawings between contractors, subcontractors, and suppliers. This provides a common way of drawings among all of them so that you will have a common understanding of the drawings instead of individual understanding that could be different from one person to another. This could lead to many misunderstandings and many mistakes and many wrong implements of the project. Understanding blueprints and drawings in Canada has an objective of to provide a comprehensive understanding of blueprints in Canada, their components, technicalities, and abbreviations. Definition: blueprints are technical drawings that serve as a guide for construction, building, infrastructure, or machinery. They outline design intent, specifications, and dimensions. The history of blueprints. Origin: the term blueprint comes from a reproduction technique using a photosensitive chemical process which results in white lines on a blue background. This way is like the old way of the blueprint. As you can see here in the drawing, this is how the blueprints used to look like. It's a white line used on a blue background, and this is why it's even called a blueprint. It's exactly blueprint. Evolution: modern blueprints are CAD, computer aided design software, and are typically printed on white paper with black or colored tracks. Of course, the first one of the origin is actually the old school way of the blueprint, the original way. But as we go through the evolution, there is like more evolution in terms of the drawing, and we actually the humans were able to invent the PC, then inventing programs, which led to CAD, and CAD is like the modern way of the blueprints, which is not following a blue background, because in the printing it's more economical to print on white papers. The CAD is based on white papers and black lines and colored lines. Significance in Canada: essential for adhere to local building codes and regulations. The difference in Canada, mostly more than any other place, is that in Canada it's being used to be according to their own regulations on codes. They have Ontario Code, they have Canadian standards that only belong to them. These, of course, are like mainly focused in Canada. In each country, you can find their own codes on the regulations that they follow. They can use the blueprint but add their own codes to that. The importance of blueprints. Clarity. Clarity is the visual representation of the construction process. For example, if you wanna start in the construction project, you have to ensure that everybody has a clear understanding of the project, starting from the labor, the plumber, the electrician. If you wanna indicate to them and explain to them in a clear way about the project construction project process, it's never an effective way to just explain to them. You'll spend 100 years maybe in a project this way. A drawing is a simple thing to represent the idea of the project, the shape of the projects, the materials, the places, which is really most important thing, and actually this is the most effective thing in the drawings, in any drawings, of course. Communication bridges the gap between designers, engineers, and buildings. Of course, a drawing could be sent between all of these parties. This way, you will have a better communication, more clear communication, less description for small tasks, and it's even official. It's gonna be stamped, it's gonna be clear. Compliance ensure projects meet Canadian building code standards. Of course, when you actually finish your drawings, you are stamping it by your engineer, who's probably a PNG. This means a lot here. I mean, in Canada, if you have a PNG degree, you are stamping a drawing, then this means that you actually finish these drawings according to their standards, their codes. You actually studied the codes and the standards and the regulations for you to get your PNG here. Otherwise, you are not a PNG, you can't stamp any drawing. Then, when you actually finish your drawing, you have to submit your drawing for official approvals and permits. Official approvals and permits can ensure that the drawings are actually based according to the standards. Documentation acts as a paramount record of design and construction. When you start the project, when you finish the project, when you implement the project, it's important to document your project. If you want to document the construction process itself rather than the official agreements, if you want to document the construction of the layout, for example, the material, the locations, and these things, the best way of documentation for the construction itself and the design itself is the drawings, the stamped one, the official one, the approved one between all the parties. Key elements of a blueprint: title block, project name and location, name of designer, architect, engineer, scale, date, and sheet number. Title block is like it's located in the frame of the drawing. Mostly it's located on the bottom right of the drawing. It's indicating the information of the engineer and the basic information for the drawings, the informative information of the drawings regarding to the project, the designer or the engineer, even the scale, and sometimes the name of the contractor if it's like as-built drawings. It has the most important names in the drawings. Revisions: updated or modified, listed in a revision table with dates and descriptions. Drawings can have many revisions. They could be revision 1, 2, 3, etc. Of course, the latest drawing is the latest approved official drawing with a stamp is the one that you should follow, because as you go through the projects, even in the design stage, the design could change. Then you can resubmit your design. Even in the construction, you can change, or you have a variation order. Then you have to issue a new revision of the drawings. You have to follow the latest drawing in all cases. Legend explains samples and abbreviations. It's also located in the frame of the drawing. Sometimes it's only a one sheet in the beginning of the drawing, or you have the structural notes. You can add the legend. It doesn't have to be in every drawing. You can have one sheet called structural notes and legends in the beginning of the drawings. It has the legend of every single drawings, because the legend is a common used between all drawings. It's a systematic thing rather actually of a design thing. So it's just something stated by the engineer and according to the regulations. It doesn't have to be repetitive in each drawing. Drawing area contains the design details, floor plans, elevations section. This one is the where you have to, as you go far into the drawings, into the design, each project chart has its own unique drawing area, where you actually have your unique floor plans, unique elevations, unique sections, because this is where you actually add your own design, own idea of this specific project, which is different between each project. Common types of blueprints: floor plans, overhead view showing room layouts, wall doors, and windows. floor plans are like the layouts mainly for the floors of the project. Floor plans are more specific if you have a building, if you have the location of walls, location of doors and windows. It's gonna be indicative in the floor plans. Elevations are the exterior view of a building, where you can see the elevation of the building. It's different. You have one drawing for a floor plan, one drawing for elevation. Sections are the vertical cuts showing interior details, where actually they could be very, very important. For example, wall sections. If you have places where you have shear wall, the most important thing you have is the section, even more important than the layout. The section has the details of the rebar, the concrete thicknesses. It could be vary from one floor to another, the overlap between each floor. Also, like when you have a vertical structure with a unique detail, you have to have sections. Um, Structural drawings, details of foundations, beams, columns, and load bearing elements. In structural drawings, you have to add your specific details, example details of your beams. Here you have sections too, but these are different because you have two sections here. One which is in the sections term where we described it. It's a section for like a big structural element, but in the structural drawing, that the sections here are understood to be included in the details of something structural element, specific structural element. For example, the beam, the column, or maybe footing or mat. These called sections of inside the details for structural drawings, because they have their specific criteria, specific rebar, specific dimension. You add them in the structural drawings.